News on 938 Live.
This is the Breakfast Club on 938 Live, the insurance agency front and center this morning. We're going to find out how they're coping when you are faced with disruptive technologies like many companies are. But we want to find out what a disruptive economy and its toll on the industry. We're joined this morning by James Yeow. James is a chartered financial consultant and an accredited financial counselor. He is also the master coach at the Insurance Success Academy. Morning, James. Thank you for making it in on when everyone else is on vacation.
Hey, good morning, Keith.
Okay, let's talk about a disruptive economy. Now, many people are familiar with a disruptive technology. You've seen phone companies go out of business. You've seen the way financial institutions do business change drastically. But the insurance industry, we've been told, has always been, steady, steadfast. People still need life insurance. People still need health insurance. People still need to insure their cars. So what toll has this disruptive economy taken on the insurance industry, in your opinion?
So disruptive economy that we are talking about here is the rule of business now is to create new rules. Because many people say that business is tough and it's very competitive. And if you play by old rules, very soon you'll be out of the game. So two prominent examples, we are talking about Airbnb, disrupting the hotel industry. We are talking about Uber and Grab disrupting the taxi industry. So no one can imagine all this can be possible, you see. And no one can imagine that they can turn their investment property into a hotel and they can use their car to ferry someone for a fee. So the rules keep changing, the competition keep changing, and the game keeps changing.
Okay, so as it pertains to the insurance industry, what do they need to do differently? Perhaps pay the agents?
Perhaps I would say I'll talk about the impact first. On sales. Financial consultants would have a tougher time to increase their business volume, and we talk about it has a huge impact on recruitment, how the candidates perceive the business, and lastly we talk about the branding, which is very relevant to sales and recruitment both.
Basically nowadays customers are pretty savvy. Just for example, let's talk about car insurance. They'll go online and do a whole bunch of searches, and everyone has to, meet the demands of the customer when it comes to the lowest price. So can you compete on price alone?
For insurance itself, right? If you talk about life insurance, it's never about price, because all financial consultants take pride in their consultation. They give their advice. So what I want to talk about is when we talk about information is widely available, so prospect would have read up certain stuff. So we as financial consultants, we must know what the prospect already know, and then ask ourselves, what else should they know?
But haven't they always tailor-made their plans and packages to the needs of the customer, primarily as what the person can afford at different stages of his life, and then renew the packages as life hits the person?
Oh, that's part of the portfolio. So some of the portfolio, like life insurance, like endowment plans, those plans stay for a long time.
Okay, those are savings plans. But when you talk about changing the way you do business, increasing your volume in a tough situation, a tough time, how can someone do that?
Okay, so we must be prepared. And I think that we must be prepared that they can prospect, and clients will actually send you some articles to ask you for opinion and challenge your recommendation, because they are well informed, right? And I think what is more important right now is we are talking about the psychographics of the prospect. Last time we used to talk about demographics. Now we talk about psychographics.
So what is the psychographic? The psychological makeup of a person?
So very simple. Psychographic is, do you know what is the prospect's biggest fear and challenge right now? Do you know what is their biggest motivation or excuses of not buying? If you are a specialist in certain market, then you will be able to understand them better.
So does a financial consultant these days have to be, like everyone used to be, a jack of all trades at one, or do you have to be specialist in everything that you sell?
Actually, you should take a specialization in serving a certain market segment. If, like example, for myself, I do serve the business insurance segment. I help business owners to do business succession and estate planning. So for financial consultants who are 3 years old and above, they should take a specialization.
Okay. When you talk about financial planning these days, especially in the Asia Pacific region, we've always been told that there's been a lot that has been geared to family businesses.
Yes.
Family businesses, and the patriarch or the matriarch doesn't want to cede control to the next generation, and if they do, they want the immediate family members. But there's a spectrum of family members. How do you persuade them to say, hey, this can happen? Because we've seen it in Singapore.
Yes.
Certain family dynasties and dynamics have crumbled once the patriarch or the matriarch passes.
This is where it gets really interesting. In company, we have corporate governance, and in such family business, right, we have a family office, which is the family governance. Whoever they have KPIs, like if are you attending most of the events, are you there most of the time, are you contributing to the family, and that will what rank are you at. And that is what we call the family office. And for such complicated cases, usually we take some time to do. It's like a project basis. You can take as long as 6 months.
Sure, but when we talk about succession, are family businesses more concerned into passing on the business to the next generation? Because there's this old adage, first generation it struggles, makes up the business. Second generation spends it, and the third generation, you're back to the basics all over again.
That is where we have this phrase. We say, to be fair is unfair.
Okay.
So it's very difficult to be fair to everyone. So we, some people say that I'm a descendant, so I have a share. Some people say that I contributed more, so I have a bigger share. That's where we really have to come in to seek everybody's opinion, to have an agreement. So that's what family office is all about.
Is this more prevalent in Asia than perhaps in Europe and in the US?
It is more advanced in the overseas market.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if someone were to come to you, or you approach them, which is more often? Do they approach you in order to to do their succession planning, or do you have to go and market your services to them?
Because when we become a specialist, you get is word of mouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you are structuring a business, how difficult is it to get buy-in from the family members?
It depends, because it varies. It varies based on the scale, and based on how big the business is, and we really have to see how many members are involved and how close they are.
Some are large families. Perhaps have you ever recommended outside governance? Because family businesses, there's always this garrison mentality. I don't want anybody prying into my affairs of the business. That's why I don't want to list as well.
So when they officially engage us, that's where everything is on the table.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the corporate side, besides succession planning, what else does corporate planning involve when it comes to the insurance industry?
The corporate planning will be the employees' welfare. So we talk about educating the employees on what is good for them, or what they should be having in their own portfolios.
Sure.
Yeah.
And on a corporate scale, first thing that someone intending to buy insurance would always say perhaps health insurance would be the first thing. So again, can someone compete on price these days? Because everybody seems to want the highest plan and then find themselves in a little bit of trouble after a while.
MOH actually does a very good job, because they would have done the comparison and put online. So actually, if you search comparison like health insurance, you search comparison, MOH will have given you the comparison table.
We are talking this morning with James Yeow. James is, of course, a certified, and of course he is also a chartered financial consultant and accredited financial counselor. We're going to find out the impact of doing business in these tough times as it pertains to the insurance industry, and find out about recruitment and branding and what that all means, especially if you are running your own agency. We will come back and talk with James in 2 minutes. Stay with us.
Gets you talking.
We're back into the Breakfast Club on 938 Live, speaking this morning with James Yeow. James is a chartered financial consultant and an accredited financial counselor. We are also talking about a whole bunch of things that he does that it pertains to the insurance industry. So, James, what is lacking in the insurance industry? You know, it's a big organization, lots of people running their own agencies, sales being to be, driving everybody. What's lacking?
Branding.
Branding in the sense that, because I find it difficult to find out what branding would mean pertaining to a certain person who's running an agency. He's obviously running an agency as it pertains to one of the big corporations. Other people are brokers who want the cheapest, who get the best price. So let's talk about that.
Okay, well, when recruitment we talk about branding, let's define branding.
Okay.
Your brand is what people talk about you when you're not in the room.
Okay.
Okay, so your branding affects your sales and recruitment. So we talk about especially those senior directors who has very established infrastructure and training systems. They are better coach. They can better, guide somebody, guide the newbie. They are not found on the social media, and the young managers are recruiting so much better than the senior ones.
Okay.
Because they always talk about their work on the social media. So we're talking about branding. People must get to know what are you doing, what is your work all about, and therefore when they want to approach you, they can approach you.
So to catch up, what does the old guard have to do? I know everyone is talking about going digital these days. Do they have to have a digital imprint?
That would be the best thing to do, or I think the minimum thing to do. If you have no digital presence, then you are missing out on the game.
So as it pertains to the insurance industry, just say I'm running an agency right now. I know what I'm doing. I'm very experienced, but I don't want the rest of the world to know what I'm doing. Is that a difficult hurdle to overcome?
YouTube already shows everything that you are doing right now, and someone else can do it better than you. It's all online.
So has this taken a hit? Have agencies taken a hit?
That is where they have to catch up, I guess.
So let's talk about the younger ones these days. Are the younger ones breaking away from agencies and setting up their own?
Yeah, they are, and they do a lot of branding online, and especially social media. They talk about the lunch they have with the clients. They talk about how they met, and how he or she managed to help this client and things like that. And they are actually showing the world and showing to their friends how they are doing their work.
Sure. So there is no privacy these days?
Privacy, no. Anything offline is privacy.
So how would a customer react to being, profiled in such a way by someone? I'm trying to structure my business, I'm trying to structure my life and my family's affairs, yet all this seems to be blasted on social media.
If you want to scale your business, if you want to talk about your business all the time, and you want your business to go really big, then you got to be online.
Okay, so let's talk about businesses. What are they not doing right when it comes to perhaps protecting themselves insurance-wise? Sometimes
they do not know what to say online. Sometimes they become too philosophical.
Okay.
And people don't get it, especially the younger generation. And sometimes they too focus on how much experience they have with them.
Okay, let's talk about, we've been told, rough times 2017. We've faced some rough times here as well. What does this mean for the insurance industry? Does it go like other financial institutions, dip and wane as economic conditions, weigh in on people?
Certainly. When we talk about the most drastic one, which is the Lehman Brothers, it was badly affected.
Sure. But primarily there were also insurance companies that were involved in marketing mortgage-based securities as well. Yeah. But right now, have they, come up from that? Has information been more available, and the companies willing to share this with their clients?
MAS make it very, very transparent that all companies have to declare, and they have to put it in their benefit illustrations and product summaries to tell the customer what is it all about.
669-11938 is the number. We have someone holding on. We have who has a question for James. Good morning. And of course, they had to play us out at the last moment. Sorry, James. If you have more questions and you want to to put them to James, you know the number to call. James, what do you think is the biggest challenge facing the insurance industry, disruptive economies, and economic situations notwithstanding?
I think it's to create an impression of what you really stand for.
Okay. And if you could tell us what that means in the minutes that we have left.
Like I say, you need to choose a specialization and be known for that. Is choose your own niche.
Okay. Can you be a jack of all trades in spite of being a specialist?
You must be a master of one and jack of all.
Master of one. So you've chosen family succession and corporate planning for businesses. What other avenues are available in the insurance industry? Because again, people seem to be thinking that this drive for sales all the time. How do I meet the numbers? And given the fact that Singapore has only got a limited population,
actually, if you see the ratio, is really very. There's still quite a big market.
Are we still underinsured people?
Yeah, we are. Very.
And how do you convince people of that?
I think live events. I think actually it has to depend on their live events.
Okay.
Because when you have a new child and you have a newborn, your life changed, right?
Right.
So that's where you see the value of your life, and that's where you want to take action to do something.
So people has the message sunk in? I have a kid. I have an education plan. I have a health plan. I have a university plan. How difficult is it to stay the course, make all those premiums as well as the endowment plans and my own health insurance, my own wife's life insurance, and a whole lot more for a span of, say, at least 25 years, given the ups and downs of the economy these days?
That's why we're advocating a lot on financial reviews, do financial planning, proper financial planning.
Okay.
We want to know your cash flow analysis. We want to see your balance sheet so that you will be able to know that you have enough cash flow for if in any case of emergency.
Okay, so let's talk about health insurance these days. Lots of people finding premiums a bit steep, and let's talk about downgrading the plans. Are people willing? Have you seen people wanting to perhaps not take the premium plan and have something at least just to cover the basics?
Yes, some of my clients who are moving into their golden age, whereby they are looking at cutting down their expenses, so they move now to the government restructure hospital plan.
Sure, and without the private hospital plans as well. So let's talk about where people in Singapore are underinsured.
Life and critical illness.
Okay.
Because it's very expensive. We say people die later now, but they fall sick earlier.
Okay. Another thing that before we let you go, James, what advice would you have for people in the industry who are facing a little bit of a downturn at this particular point in time?
Keep learning new things.
And what do you need to do? How do you do that, and where can you do that?
Of course, you can come to Insurance Success Academy to learn about business networking. We talk about how you can do social media marketing to position yourself and your agency. And we also talk about business insurance as well.
Talk about positioning. Is the competition very, very steep out there?
Yes, certainly. It is. It's a Red Sea.
Let's go to the phone lines and see who's joining us. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm Mrs. Lee.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to make a quick suggestion to
Sure.
the insurance industry.
Right.
I just want to suggest that maybe they could target the younger people. For example, start educating them in primary schools.
Financial literacy you're talking about.
Yes, that's right. Financial knowledge generally.
Let's
how
see.
to save,
Sure.
know, why it is important to buy insurance. I tell my son all the time that 1/3 of his salary should always go to insurance.
Okay.
Because I tell him we never know what will happen tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's thank you so much for calling in, ma'am. Let's ask James. What kind of outreach efforts has the industry done in terms of financial literacy? Is that part and parcel of financial counseling as well?
It is usually the counseling is for people to get out of debt.
Okay.
But when we talk about financial literacy, is own individual effort. Like I do run cash flow games to actually educate my clients as a part of the client servicing activities.
You mean in part of the corporate world, they still need to be educated?
Yeah, through games.
And is this a big thing these days? Games?
Yes. It's picking up. It's getting more and more popular.
James, I give you the final word right now for the people in the industry. What should they be doing, upgrading, and how can they do it?
Learn things that are outside of business, outside of insurance, like business networking, social media marketing, and leadership. I think that's very important.
James Yeow, thank you so much for joining us this morning. James is a chartered financial consultant. He's also an accredited financial counselor, and of course he is a master at he's a master coach at the Insurance Success Academy. James, thank you so much for making it in. Compliments of the season.
Thank you.
And you've been listening to The Breakfast Club on 938 Live. I'm Keith de Souza.